Hey everyone, it's Rob, back with another BMG battle report. This time I actually have a opponent. Say hello, Paul.
Morning.
So hopefully this game will flow a little better, and it also means a different crew will be on the table. Today it's going to be Soldiers of Fortune again on my side, but we're going to be playing against the League on the other side. We've already set up the sewers lampposts and picked our deployment zones. But we haven't set up anything else, so I'll show you the crews and then we'll get into starting the game off. So here we have the Soldiers of Fortune crew. We are led by Deathstroke today. He has his Bastard Sword and his Modified Assault Gun. We have Infiltrate Op. She has the Neurotoxic Drugs, so she has Fast and Dodge for this game. Stealth Op, he has Venom Dose and a Titan Dose. We have Cuchillo, who has a backpack. Mercenary 1 with the axe, who has Venom Dose. Mercenary 2 and Clover, who have no equipment, but it takes me up to 7 models. And my deck this time is all the Soldiers of Fortune cards except for Global Offensive, and I've taken Overdrive and Die Hard instead as the sort of those two cards. And here we have Paul's League crew, led by Talia today, and she has both Damiens with her, the Heretic and Damian Wayne. Damian Wayne has Hidden from Trained in the Shadows. We have Ichi, one of the older ninjas. He has Shadow Training, so he has Undercover for this game. And we have Assassin 1, who has Combat Bracers and Grapple Gun. Assassin 3, who has Climbing Claws, and then Assassin 4, who has Venom, Combat Bracers, and Loyalty Tattoo. Paul is using pretty much all the League deck for his objective deck as well, but he has no From the Shadows in there, and he's replaced that with Overdrive, They Must Know Pain, and Confusion. So we will get the crews set up in their deployment zones, and then we will show you how the setup of the game looks. So this is our setup for today. We have for deployment with Duel. Neither of us have free agents, so it's giving us a 12-inch corner deployment with a 4-inch bubble around a marker that none of us can go in for the rest of the game. So that's messed with setup slightly, but I think we've managed to work it out. And then in the spotlight is that we can't get rid of lampposts all game, and that we are going to be moving some of them at the end of each race's plan phase, so hopefully we can remember that. We have the model set up now, so I'll quickly just show you guys where everyone's set up. For the Soldiers of Fortune, we are set up in this corner. You can see there the marker that we can't be within 4 inches of. So we've set up on this corner here, and the League of Assassins have set up over here in this corner on the side of the board. Their marker is on top of a building, so it's slightly easier to avoid. And then we have some undercover and hidden models. Undercover for the League of Assassins is Ichi. He is set up here, outside of the deployment zone. Stealth Op is behind the Moroni restaurant over there, on the corner of it. And then undercover, hidden, we have Infiltrate Op is hidden over here, and Damien has set up hidden just around the corner from her. So I think first turn they're going to be duking it out, but we will get to the first turn now and see if anyone's playing any objective cards and get going with the game. So start of the first round, we've both done I think partial scout moves. I've got Deathstroke has moved out just a little bit here. He's still within Inspire range of these guys, but he's moved with his scout trait. And then did you move your other guy with scout?
So he's moved, yeah, he moved his full movement up to the lamppost there.
Cool, yep, so the Assassin 4 has scouted out to there. And we have one card played in the first round for the Soldiers of Fortune. We have Die Hard, and it's been played on Stealth Up, because he's quite far away from everyone, and there's quite a few. The sewers are quite far away as well, so we don't think he's going to get attacked, but we'll have to see. Talia tried to make Infiltrate Op over here go last with one of her abilities, but she passed her willpower roll, so she gets to activate whenever she likes. And we will start the game up now with some activations. So jumping in after 4 activations we've had. First one for Soldiers of Fortune was Mercenary 1 down here. He moved from over here and with his Inspire put down a suspect marker. Didn't play any cards though. Then basically the same over here. Assassin 1 moved around from where Talia is to here and used Inspire to put down a suspect and no cards played. Then with Audacity, Infiltrate Op activated. She was over here, and as Damien was around the corner and couldn't see her but was within 8 inches, she placed a suspect and scored Black Ops. So that's 2 points scored there. She then moved to here and used her hacking to move the sewer down close to her and move the lamppost over to where Ichi is so that she could shoot him. She lost 1 dice through cover, but managed to get 2 hits and put 2 blood on him. And then after her activation, Damien activated and jumped round the corner from there with his backclaw and attacked her. She F'd 3 times to take dice out. He only F'd once to put 1 back in. Only managed to score 1 hit, and then she managed to defend all of them, so she took no damage from Damien that turn. And we will get to the next activations now. And also in Infiltrate Ops' turn, she played a resource Ground War, and she turned the suspect that Mercenary 1 played into advantage position, so that's cover till the end of the round. But mostly it was just to get the card out of her hand for now, as we don't think we're going to score it, and pick up a new one. So the next activations, we have Cochillo over here, who was with Audacity, so he was able to use Tireless as his trait to give himself an extra 2 inches of movement. So he ran round from here to here, but he's quite close to a suspect marker, so he wasn't able to place any down, and he didn't have any that needed to be revealed with his backpack. So that was kind of his go. It's kind of screwing up the Soldiers of Fortune a little bit, that they can't go through here because of the marker, and they're not free agents, so they can't move within 4 inches of it. And then for the League of Shadows, Ichi activated. He ran round from over there into contact with Infiltrate Op, and used his Feint trait to try and stop her efforting this turn, which worked. So she wasn't able to effort at all in this combat. He efforted 3 times to put a bunch more dice in to his attack, and managed to, in the end, score 4 hits on her. So that was 8 blood altogether, and she is gone from the board. So going back slightly, on Ichi's turn, before he killed Infiltrate Op, he played the resource on the card They Must Know Pain to remove the 2 blood that she'd given him through shooting. Then after that we had Deathstroke activate. With Audacity he moved all the way over to here, from where he was, around here. He then used his modified assault gun to shoot at Damien. Damien took 2 dice out from his attack with efforts for dodging. But the 2 dice that he did have left to roll both hit, and so they dealt 4 blood damage total to Damien. And there wasn't really much else for Deathstroke to do. Then we have Assassin 4 over here, who just activated from around the corner, placed a suspect with Inspire from Talia out in the corner there, and then moved up to here, ready to fill the middle of the board with ninjas. So another couple of activations. Mercenary 2 for the Soldiers of Fortune just moved up to here. Without Audacity, so he didn't really have anything else to do. Not really much of an eventful first round going on with the setup that we've got. Talia over here moved out from behind her building and then shouted down the board at this ninja with order to place a suspect, which she did, and then she played the Lazarus Pit card as a resource to put the Lazarus Pit down here, just in case any more damage comes in for the ninjas in the middle, but it doesn't look like there's going to be too much, so we'll see how that plays out for the rest of the go. So we are at the end of the rather uneventful first round, but it might be quite a high scoring one in the end for the league. So for the Soldiers of Fortune, everyone else basically has just moved up to follow Deathstroke. The no non-free agents within 4 inches of this marker is really screwing up their game plan at the beginning. But they did play Domination as a resource at the on someone's activation. We moved this suspect marker away from there because I know that the league like to bunch up their suspect markers to score cards, and then the league just managed to move out and place some more suspect markers, and played multiple threats, and they have 5 markers out, so that is numbers 1 to 5 on the board. They did manage to score Do Not Deviate for the Plan because they have suspect markers out and I didn't reveal any, and they also have Red Hit the Order because they have 5 markers out and I have 2 for the Soldiers of Fortune. For the Soldiers of Fortune, they only managed to score Die Hard because Stealth Op, who moved around there, is still alive and not KO. And I'm going to roll now for multiple threats and see if that scores. So it's anything between 1 and 5. If it's a 6, it does not score. 2. It scores. So that's another 3 points for the league this turn. So that is going to be 8 altogether. And yeah, just the 2. And the Black Ops. So that's 4 altogether for Soldiers of Fortune. So start of the second round. Neither of us are playing any Phase 1 cards. Audacity is set out as follows. So we have a good selection there for Soldiers of Fortune, and then a bunch there for the League of Shadows. Talia tried to make Stealth Op go last, but he passed his willpower roll, so he's fine, he can activate whenever he likes. And she also moved some suspects around with scheming, 2 of her own, and then moved one of the Soldiers of Fortune ones closer into the middle of the board, close to the enemy. And that is it for setup for the second round, so we will get to the activations. Also at the start of the second round, we moved some lampposts because of the In the Spotlight event. So the league moved the lamppost from there to there, and the Soldiers of Fortune moved the lamppost from there to there. And also the league have taken the lead, so they will be activating first. So first activations of the round, we had Damien, who was over here, do a sort of kamikaze run into here. He placed a suspect and then used the resource under their noses to play it and turn it into a smoke cloud, blinding himself and nearly all of the people around here. And that was his turn. He then, from the smoke, Cuchillo over here, because the wording for blind says some very sort of second edition stuff in terms of movement. So we've been playing it that you just get to move half your movement distance for if you're blinded. So he moved half. He attacked Damien first before he left, but because he needed all 6s to do anything to Damien, he didn't have anything happen, and then moved his distance over here, used his backpack to reveal the friendly suspect that was here, and then place a new one down with the Inspire, Manipulate from Deathstroke, and played the Invasion card. So it has a 3 activation countdown on it at the moment, and the Smoke Grenade is going to be going away after his activation because he only rolled a 1 for how many activations it lasts. So the smoke will be gone, all these people will still be blind, so Damien has completely messed up the turn for the Soldiers of Fortune on his own. So quick correction on the last turn, Cuchillo wouldn't have attacked Damien before he moved because obviously he didn't have Audacity, so his action His normal action would have been to move, and then he had a free reveal from his backpack and a free manipulate from Deathstroke for the Inspire. So the only thing that really changed, because there wasn't any hits or anything, is that Damien has one less stun damage because he did an effort to try and defend himself. So we've just had two very bloody ninja activations, basically. We have Ichi, who activated, came down here and attacked Cachillo, who was here but is now dead because he killed him. Used feint so that Cachillo couldn't effort, and he was still blinded from the smoke, so he couldn't defend himself that well anyway. The token that he put down is now on 1 turn left until it scores. And then over here, Stealth Op used his Venom Dose this turn and the resource Search and Destroy to get some extra movement, so he can make it from behind the cab to here in contact with Assassin 4. So with 3 efforts and some pretty good rolling, managed to get 6 blood through against the Assassin and kill him. And then because Deathstroke gives everyone in the crew with Veteran Assassin 2, he was able to get the Search and Destroy card back, so that's going to go back in my hand, and I've discarded down already to make room for it. And we will get to some more activations. Oh, and during Ichi's turn, Paul played Daughter of the Demon as a resource. So all of the suspect markers for the League that are over here now have, what's it called? Imminent threat markers. So now if I want to remove any of those markers, I have to get rid of some of my own. I don't really have many of my own on the board, so we will probably not be removing those anytime soon. So next activations, the Assassin 1 here ran from around the corner of the building to here, but didn't have Audacity and was too close to other suspects to be able to place anything from Inspire. And then Deathstroke ran in from over here, activated Devastating Blow with his Bastard Sword, attacked, and managed to roll very, very well. And the ninja managed to defend against 1 attack, both of them taking 3 effort each during the combat. But the double strength dice and the pluses to hit, both for the strength dice and for being outnumbered, meant that Deathstroke managed to get a total of 13 blood altogether, with one of the crits giving bleed. So he took that ninja off the board and also managed to score the card that had been brought back in with Assassin last activation, because he made 2 efforts. He made at least 2 efforts and he scored at least 2 hits. So that scored, and also after these activations, the countdown on invasion triggered, so that is also scored. So next couple of activations, Assassin, which number is he?
He is number 3.
Assassin 3 moved up from around the building and placed a suspect with Inspire from Talia, who is still around the back of that building. He also played Under Their Noses as a resource to put a smoke marker here, which is lasting for 5 activations, but it should now be down to 3 because we've had 2 activations since then. It blinded him, but it's not taken anyone else with it. But it's blocking some line of sight. Mercenary 1 with the axe moved around here. He's blinded, so he couldn't really do much, so he's just moving, putting himself in contact with Damien for the next round. Then we have Heretic, who moved around from around here, but that was all he did, just moving around to there. And then we had Clover here, who was not blinded by the smoke a couple of turns before. He shot at Damien with his pistol and managed to, even though Damien efforted some dice away, used rapid fire to get some dice, get 1 more dice anyway, and managed to do 2 blood and 2 stun to Damien, who was already pretty damaged from previous turns, and so he is dead. And then he moved up and put himself on the sewer, ready for further turns, but didn't score any cards for that. So it's been low scoring couple of activations for both teams. So the last two activations of round 2, Talia, trying to get some revenge for all the ninjas that have been taken out over here, jumped on StealthOp, who was in the smoke, so he was blinded, not able to defend himself as well. Both of them efforted 3 times, so get some even dice going on. And Talia didn't roll too well, even with rerolls for their strength dice, and only managed to get 4 blood on StealthOp, so he's still up. The smoke will be disappearing at the end of the round because we've gone through all the activations that it lasted for. She didn't play any cards on her turn, and then the only activation at the end for Soldier's Fortune was Mercenary 2. He had Audacity, but he didn't really have much to do with it, so he just moved his half movement for being blind other side of the car, and then placed a suspect just out of range of the other one. But again, didn't really have any cards to score with that, and didn't have any resources to play. So we will total up the cards and everything at the end of the round and see where we sit. So at the end of the second round, neither of us scored any cards, so literally all we had to do really was just recover some stun. So we're at the start of the third round now. The Audacity and everything has been placed. The only first phase card that's been played is Domination, and I've placed the marker in contact with Ichi over here. So he's got a few mercenaries around him at the moment, so we'll see if they can stick to that marker. And some suspects have been moved around due to Talia's scheming, but not much else has happened this turn. The League are down to 4 models, so they all have Audacity, and then the Soldiers of Fortune, everyone has Audacity except Clover, and that is mostly because he has been made to go last by Talia's willpower roll with Manipulate. So we will get going with the activations now. So first activation of the round, we'll take the lead, went to Soldiers of Fortune. So StealthOp, being pretty close to both death and being knocked out, went first to try and get away from people. But before he did, because he started over here, he attacked Talia and managed to get 4 blood on her, but the League played My Life for the League as a resource, and so Heretic, being within range, took the damage instead. And then he placed a suspect for free with Inspire before he ran away, and then ran all the way over to here. He used 1 effort during the combat because that was the only amount of stun he had left before he would knock himself out. Talia took 2 stun to take some dice off of him, and then obviously didn't take any of the damage in the end anyway. So that is the first activation. So the next activation was the Heretic running to Talia's aid as he saw Deathstroke was so close. Only had half movement because he'd been knocked down the turn before, as StealthOp had got a crit against Talia, so he'd also taken that. So he just moved to there and used Reach with his sword to attack Deathstroke. Again, both of them efforting 3 times to balance out the dice. And you activated Witch Rate with Heretic.
Oh, so we activated Unstoppable.
So Unstoppable was activated, and so Deathstroke could have had to roll 2 successes with his blocks to block each hit, but unfortunately Heretic only managed to get 1 hit through against Deathstroke's defense of 5, and then Deathstroke managed to block it with 2 block rolls. And also during Heretic's turn, he got rid of some of the blood that he had from before with They Must Know Pain, and we also, as an objective, have we cannot be defeated in play. So he played some cards, even though he didn't get to do too much in combat, and then we'll see what happens next with the rest of the round. So seeing an opportunity to score big, Deathstroke jumped over the police car with Acrobat to attack Talia. She efforted 3 times to take some dice away. Deathstroke efforted twice, taking himself up to 7 stun on his 8 willpower. But he still managed to roll pretty well. He also activated Devastating Blow with his bastard sword before he went in. So managed to score in the end 9 blood altogether with a crit, taking Talia out and off the board, which then triggered his card that was luckily in his hand. So he is also now off the board, but he's managed to score 4 points for it. So the next 2 activations, we had Ichi just move round to that little absent spot there, placed that suspect marker down and scored under their noses. He also played Overdrive as a resource and put the Venom Dose by this marker over here, ready for that guy to pick up some. Then Mercenary 1 with the axe moved up here, took his Venom Dose, tried with the Inspire from the new boss after Deathstroke was taken off, Mercenary 1, to reveal this suspect, just to get rid of it off the board. However, as a resource, Do Not Deviate from the Plan was played, so I couldn't reveal the suspect marker, but I was able to get 8 blood through against Ichi with the axe, it's mainly due to the Venom Dose, so he has been taken off the board. So at the end of the 3rd round, the last activation for the League of Assassins was Assassin 3 over here, and moved up, took the Venom Dose that was over here, ready for later on, and placed a suspect marker. And then for the last 2 activations of the Soldiers of Fortune, their new boss, Mercenary 2, moved round to here and moved the Domination marker just to the middle of these 3, so to make sure to score it. But they are all, these 2 and Clover over here, are all blinded, as Under Their Noses again was played as a resource, and the smoke was centered on where the suspect marker was, which is where the dice is now, so they couldn't really do too much. But Clover, who was in contact with this sewer marker, used his normal tactical action to move through the sewer and bounce to this one over here, and because he was within 4 inches of the new leader, he got a free manipulate action on his turn as well, so when he got here he placed a suspect marker down. But that is it for the activations at the end of the round. The Domination marker was scored, so that has scored. And the League managed to score quite a few cards. We have another Eradicate the Order, as they have more suspects in play by 1 than the Soldiers of Fortune at the moment. We Cannot Be Defeated was also scored, as they have lots of suspect markers moved together in range. And Do Not Deviate from the Plan, as they placed one of their markers and I could not get rid of any of theirs. So another big scoring turn for the League, even though they are now down to 2 models.
2, yep.
So we'll see whether or not they can survive for the 4th turn with just 2 models, and we will come back at the start of the 4th turn. So, the start of the 4th round, we had 1 card played, Domination. That marker is in contact with Heretic over here. And then the first 2 activations of the round, we have the Assassin, number 3. Only Assassin left. He moved from next to the Heretic to here. He removed a suspect from where the one with the dice on it is, and scored Fire Rises. He then attacked Clover, who was next to him, but didn't score any hits, rolled really badly, even with Venom, and efforted once to add extra, and then spent Under Their Noses as another resource again, to smoke bomb both of them off of that suspect there, so they both blinded. Then Clover went next and placed a suspect back where the one was that was revealed, and played Invasion as the card, and rolled a 1, so it's only going to have to sit there for 1 more person's activation. And then he just moved away from the ninja, but that is it for their activations. So the last of 2 activations of the round for the League of Assassins, the Heretic, used multiple threats as a resource, as he started over here right next to one of the Soldiers of Fortune suspects, charged all the way down here into combat with Mercenary 1. Mercenary 1 used 3 effort to get rid of some dice, and the Heretic could only use 1, as he's quite close to being knocked out. Only in the end managed to get 1 hit through, so that's 2 blood on Mercenary 1. And then he played We Cannot Be Defeated as an objective, as he still has a bunch of suspect markers at the back of the board that are close together, and I'm not going to be able to get to them really, so he should be able to score that by the end of the round. But that is it for the League of Assassins. There's only 3 mercenaries over here for the Soldiers of Fortune left to go, so we'll come back when they've had their activations. So finishing off the round with the activations, after the Heretic's activation, Invasion scored, and that was over on that marker over there. And then we had the 3 remaining mercenaries here activate. Mercenary 1 activated first with Audacity. Here he attacked the Heretic, put some blood on him, and then moved away up to here. Stealth Op then activated next, just moved up here and manipulated the domination marker and moved it to the middle there so that they could both try and score it. He also played free-for-all on his turn, ready for the end of the round. Try and have as more models than the opponent within 4 inches of the gaming centre. And then finally, the new boss, Mercenary 2, activated. He's moved to the Heretic and tried to attack him, trying to put the last bits of damage through. Only managed to score 1 hit after all the efforts and defences went through. The Heretic had efforted once to take some dice away, which took him to his stun limit, but because he's desensitised, he could do that, and then the stun he took from the reinforced gloves just went through as blood, but he did also, because he's large, ignored the first, so literally only 1 blood went through in the end, leaving him on 7 stun and 7 blood on him, so he's still alive and still awake. But that is the end of all the activations in this round. So we're going to check all the scoring at the end of the round, and we'll see who has won with all the scoring of the cards. So we're at the end of the game. We've totaled up all the scoring cards. The League have managed to pip the Soldiers of Fortune to the post by 2 points. It is 24 points for the League and 22 points for the Soldiers of Fortune. Definitely a bloody game. Both of us had 7 models each, and the League are down to 2 models left on the board, and the Soldiers of Fortune are down to 4 left on the board. Obviously one of those was taken off by themselves with Deathstroke's card, but it definitely seemed like it was a lower scoring game to both of us until we actually totaled up the points. Especially for the League, Paul didn't think he'd got anywhere near my 22 when I totaled mine up, but managed to pit me to the post. I think there was definitely a couple of turns where he scored at least sort of 7 in one go at the end of the round, a couple of times. So I definitely think the setup of the corners with the areas that we couldn't go through messed us up a little bit, and we did take quite a while in the first turn and then into the second turn of just sort of filing out around the edges and trying not to go through the middle, especially for the mercenaries that were over here. They ended up doing quite well later on in the game, but for the first couple of turns they were sort of just out of it and not really with much to do. Hopefully this game's been a little better than last time. I think it's still slightly disjointed, sort of having to play and then stop and sort of record what's been going on, but hopefully next time it can be a little better. Hoping, like fingers crossed, that the Two-Face crew will be here soon. They probably won't be on video for a while, as I want to only play on video with stuff that's painted, so I'll have to get them done. But I might play some games off camera with them unpainted, just so I can get to grips with the crew and the deck. And the same with the Birds of Prey. I need to play with those. I haven't played with those at all yet, even though I've had the crew for a while. So that might be my next game behind the scenes. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Again, any comments or queries or advice, let us know in the comments. And hopefully next time we can have a slightly better setup for the game. But hopefully it's just as bloody and high scoring. So see you again next time.
Hey guys, it's Captain Blue of the Rejects. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let us know in the comments below or on the Discord for any rules errors and tactics used. We all greatly appreciate the discussion around the game. And of course, don't forget to like and battering the subscribe button. See y'all next time.